Game number 1, Captain's Clash Europe continues, and we have the second match for Team Serdath. Sorry, for Team Serdath. They're going up against Team Sven right now. So the red team has already played a couple of games. They played 3 best of 3s and are now in their 4th match. And the track record is currently a little bit mixed. 1 win and 2 losses, so not that great. A lot of pressure on them right now to perform here and not go 1 and 3. Whereas over on the left side for Team Serdath, this is their 2nd match. So they started into the round robin of the tournament a little bit later. And they only played against 1 team so far, but they weren't able to win. It was a close call, but they lost the series, so now they're 0-1. We still have 1 team that has, by the way, not played at all in the round robin. That's Team Lopaka, who are going to play or enter the arena soon, but at least for the time being, there are a few teams that have already played up to 3 or even 4 matches. But yeah, it's like not really a play-day per play-day thing that we have here. Now, generally speaking, if you haven't really paid any attention to the Captain's Clash yet, then a quick reminder that we're currently with 6 teams in a round-robin phase. Out of those 6 teams, 4 will advance to the playoffs and 2 will drop out. The teams have been created just for this tournament, so the captains were nominated, and then the captains, through the help of an auction system with points, picked out of a player pool their teammates, and this is where we're at right now. So it's a little bit tricky to at times really establish, okay, which team is strong, which team is weak, who syncs well in general and has synergy. And there were a lot of surprise already. I mean, a ton. And it is a wild battle for the playoffs. So quite a lot here. Now, as we're going into our first map, we have, in regards to bans, Malfurion and Maiev eliminated. And we get a ban on Jojo as well. So trying to reduce the AoE that you have on the objective just a little bit. But curious how the blue team is now going to perform here. They did well in their previous series, even though they weren't able to win it. Now going up against Team Sven. This is obviously quite the interesting battle. And for Team Serdath, it's also one of those situations where if they now lose, they're 0-2. Now, you can always recover. You still have more games to play. It is a 6-man round robin, which means that every single team is going to play 5 matches. But if you're starting with an 0-2, it's hard to recover. So Chromie gets picked as a first pick. And now just a question what the blue team is going to respond with, what are they going to be able to do here, and if they're able to get a victory. But we're already this early in the round robin stage in a situation where these games start to matter a lot for the teams playing here. And nobody wants to drop out of the tournament this early. Root Soul Medivh, and we get Vala. Also, reminder, there are no draft rules, so there are no restrictions. It's just a typical vanilla tournament. So going from game to game, you can dip into the entire hero pool. So no restrictions on repetitions or anything of the sorts, which allows the team, of course, to go pretty deep into their own comfort zone and play around those drafts. And will also result in certain bans against specific heroes when they start excelling in a game, so that you don't have to face off against them again on the 2nd or even the 3rd map. Hogger and Rhaegar. Yeah, so Hogger for the spin to win on the shrines. Chromie for the range damage. And then Rhaegar with the extra lightning shield to get them a bit more AoE on this. But they also would love to have something for portal control, I'd say. Normally when you're looking at Medivh on the other side, you're thinking about, hey, Malfurion for the root, Stukov for a lurking arm, ETC maybe, or Lucio just to boop targets away, make sure that they can't enter the portal. Or, if they leave the portal, are getting immediately stunned. So portal control is always quite important when you're playing for any of those. With Nano picking Vala this early, we could definitely see a lot of support and then auto attacks from her. It's actually what I expect at this point. And now on the final ban for the red team, we get a Tyrael ban. Masquerade has actually played Tyrael quite a bit for them. Could see Diablo again. I think the last time that the blue team played on Infernal Shrines, they went for Diablo. But Masquerade also a big Tyrael player. So that's definitely another one that they could have chosen. And they actually did in the previous series, which Team Sven obviously watched to get themselves a little bit of information. Because up to now, most of the teams haven't really seen Team Serdath play. The blue team, on the other hand, they could come in with multiple matches played by Team Sven that they could have a closer look at to try and get a bit of an idea of what picks to prioritize, what bans to go for. So now that we have Diablo and Blaze being chosen, We have a very beefy front line, and this is exactly the pick that I just highlighted a second ago, the Diablo pick for Masquerade. And it's again a ley line into Apocalypse as a possible combo, which they used last time on Inferno Shrines as well. They had some problems in the execution every now and then, but generally speaking, it worked well. And now we get Leo main tank, apparently. Leoric main tank for Team Sven. They got Greymane and Chromie. Okay, so this is a wild one. Lots of AoE, of course, with Hogga and Leoric right now, but definitely slightly unexpected what we're getting from them here. Leo can, of course, always be... His life can be traded for cooldowns, and then he will respawn, but I didn't think they would start like this into the first series. Whitemane, the final choice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Team Sven against Team Serdath, and we are headed for Infernal Crimes. The blue team on the left with the captain, Serdath, on Blaze. We got Rutsu and Vala. Taichessa is playing Whitemane for the team and starts us off with Pity the Frail. I love the talent names on that hero, by the way. They're just too good. Masquerade with Diablo, starting us off with the Feast on Fear, and then Nano on Medivh. As over on the right side, we get the Wolfpack. Banana H on Rhaegar and Azzy on Greymane. Cesabos is playing Chromie in the first game of the series. We got Uki on Leoric, the main tank, and Sven on Hogga. For Vala, of course, it is the auto attack style that we get. And yeah, the portals are in for Medivh. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good series. It's gonna be a really, really nice one. I mean, top side, that is where Hogga is currently sitting. Sven just chilling. Just taking it easy over here. And over in the middle, we got Leorki. I gotta say that the skin mount combo works. I am just not a fan of that skin. When it comes to Leoric, you got the Janitor, which is obviously amazing, and then you got the Ice Giant. Those are the only ones worth picking. Leoric players out there can definitely confirm Space Lord Leoric was always a little bit on the odd side for me. Nice pressure at the bottom of the map, though. That is actually doing a lot for them. Oof. That is nearly taking a tower down. So when it comes to free damage against structures, that is it right there. Now, we got with level 1 also Stormcaller as a lightning shield play. With the radius increase here, you can do a lot on the objective, and this is something that we've now seen a couple of times from Banana H whenever you played the hero. Time troubles for Chromie. And yep, this is actually confirming to me that Chromie is either Spanish or French. Those have a lot of problems with time. Germans, no. Germans are very punctual. The only exception there is the Deutsche Bahn. But yeah, ignoring that for a second, which is a national embarrassment, if anything, I would say that still the punctuality prejudice or stereotype is holding true very nicely. But whenever you're talking to the French or the Spanish, believe me, they do not know how time works. Absolutely not. So time troubles, yeah, it's definitely, Chromie is definitely French or Spanish. I would say French. Waddles away pretty often in those team fights, tries to stay at a distance, so yeah, I'm getting French vibes here. Give her a baguette and we'll see. She's like one of those French skins. But no kills so far. Very little fights actually, very little skirmishes that we're getting. I like that the red team is just simply moving in and stealing the camp away. This is just no respect. Really ballsy. Just come in and they're immediately like, yeah, that's ours now. But they might pay for it with the life of Rhaegar. Yeah, so Rhaegar gets caught and gets killed. Some French on French action as Masquerade takes down Banana H. And is apparently also thinking about taking that out. So, yeah. Oh, ho, ho, ho. He didn't see it. I don't think he saw Greymane. I was actually quite sure that with the positioning that he had there, that he had good vision on it. But apparently he didn't, so they never even thought about engaging from the looks of it. Okay. So as Diablo is getting more stacks together, the blue team has now moved into the shrine and is trying to take the lead over the opponent. Sven is starting to rotate down, but there is still... okay, they're moving back towards the bot lane now. I was about to say there's still two heroes situated at the top, so they might actually decide of just pushing for this. But down here now, Hogga, pock, pock, pock. Spin to win, baby. But they get him fairly low. Nano, only 6 stacks for Medivh. So, yeah. But, well, come the level 7 talents, a slight advantage for just a short period of time. But Blaze isn't here. He gave the team the extra experience through the top lane. But now they're falling farther and farther behind on the objective. And this is not looking good for Team Serdath at all. They're gonna lose their Punisher. If they can get kills, then that's still fine. Blaze jet propulsion, kinda weird, honestly, on the pathing. But they are able to take at least Hogger out. I think if the jet propulsion didn't make such a weird beeline, they could have potentially taken another kill. But now they are fighting against Azzy and Leoric down here. Greymane gets crushed. Vala with the damage. 50 stacks for her now. And gets the reward here. As they're starting to go in for the Punisher. So actually gets chased pretty heavily by the Punisher here. So they're not losing too much. They lost the game. Honestly, this was a pretty decent defense after all. 3 kills to 0, and just look at the damage. That's not really a whole lot. Now they're going for Leorki, and he's down 2. Those were a few additional auto attacks that Vala could weave in. The red team decided that instead they would just move to the top and would make their own play there. And so far, so good, I'd say. So yeah, them able to get the work done was definitely helping. So yeah, lots of damage that they were able to do at the top lane, at least on the wall. Well, lots, the gate, basically both the towers down. So given the situation that they were in with the Punisher not really doing all that much at the bottom of the map, that was still a very nice consolation prize for them. Vala just keeps up the auto attack rampage that she's been starting to execute. But look at that play! Chromie with a bit of damage from a distance. Greymane immediately on point. And that allows them to get a kill on Vala and reduce her attack speed bonus. I mean, just check this one out. So there they come. Vala's there. Then comes the attack from Chromie. And instantly we have the follow-up from Greymane and the quick kill. Perfect. Leyline into Apocalypse as a potential combo once more for Team Serdath, as they already used it in one of the previous series. We have the red team picking up their own level 10 abilities too. That gives us the bullet, the shockwave again. But very, very well done. That Vala kill was just clean. Now, Sven at the top. Still getting some damage in. And riding the doubloon here. And they got Greymane now too. They can buy a little bit more time for them. That would be even better. But as they are retreating, we have Leo with the Drain against Masquerade. And I'll move in here once again, and Rutsu decides that it's time to hit another few auto attacks. And of course, he's not the only one that wants to get a few more stacks together. When we're talking about Nano, he's sitting at 24. You definitely want to have a bit more than that. Jet Propulsion does not result in a stun. Diablo tries to follow up, and is a little bit confused. Do I go for Greymane? Do I go for Hogger? Left, right, left? And yeah, at the end of the day, nothing happens. Everybody's just slowly disengaging there, waiting for the next objective to pop. Wizened Duelist for Greymane. That's the tool right now. And over on the left side, the next camp about to be taken. By Chessa also with a Scarlet Aegis, by the way. So getting that healing in. And the armor. In the big team fight, when especially Greymane is making a play. Or when we have, let's say, Entomb into Shockwave. This is the time when you really want to make sure that you are hitting all the numbers there and go full pirate. Press that R button and let the team survive. 68 stacks for Vala. The next shrine is being announced. Talking Vala, she's getting attacked again at the bottom of the map and is able to get out. The Entomb. They try to get Leo into positions that he can get Entomb locked in, but not quite. It is a shrine battle in the middle, though, that the teams are eventually gonna go to. And Vala eats that combo from Chromie, at least parts of it. But they're also pushing Leo back, and he is, again, he's dying quickly. Survives for now. Rutsu, Death Dealer, can get a lot of damage in. The two teams are both looking for level 13 talents, and it kicks in sooner for Team Serdath, but only by a second. We get Gloom this time, over tempered by Discipline. trying to negate some of that burst damage coming from Chromie. So if Rutsu plays his cards right, he should be a lot more, should have a lot more survivability right now and allow Whitemane, for example, to get it. Leyline into an APOC, and the combo not working out too perfectly. Timeout for Chromie, as we have, well, Blaze was trying to also follow up on it, but he just couldn't. So Chromie moves out, but the red team is still on the retreat. Nobody died on their end, but the blue team is now able to go for an easy objective. Greymane has held on to the bot lane and was able to take out the fort, so they're already getting structural damage connected. That is making it very easy for them to slightly pull ahead on structures. They're collapsing onto Hogga at the top and are hoping to get a kill here. That might still be possible for them, actually, as they're bullying Sven around. And Sven falls. Yeah, he dies to Vala and the auto attacks. So, job well done, as the mid lane gets defended. The Frozen Punisher here with still another ability YOLO'd out that should at least give them the wall. Jump is procced over, and even Diablo's coming. Look at that slam. Nice. Even the time lapse here from Chromie. Nicely done. So Masquerade is able to escape. The wall is gone. And yeah, worth it. The damage at the top. Take Hogga down. Get a little bit more over here. Vala with a few more auto attacks. Left, right, left. Doesn't even know what to attack first. But is now sitting at 96 auto attacks. And when it comes to damage, we have her on 22,000, which is top damage in the game. Greymane, second highest in the leaderboard for hero damage with 19,000. Got Banana H at the top trying to push this back out. Vala obviously working on even more stacks, is trying to get for the second quest reward. She died once. Only hero, by the way, that died on the blue team side. It was a crazy coordination earlier by Chromie and Greymane to get that quick kill. But with Vala working in a few more auto attacks, she's easily going to be able to rely on the second quest reward. So it's going to look at 2% additional damage on these. Once that she gets those hits in. Serdath is a bit low, is able to escape, but the Wolf duo still gets damage. So they're nearly taking that fort out. Masquerade moved in from the bottom. There was nobody else there. I actually wonder if they knew that it was only Masquerade, if they would have stayed a bit longer and try and take that fort apart. I think if they do, with everybody that was moving in for them, Leo for example, they might have even been able to take that fight. So they fell back. Didn't have that information, of course. And now that we have all that pressure, just look at how they're playing the map. They're running around the opponent. They're always trying to engage onto the top fort again, get Greymane in a position, get Rhaegar in a position, and then also push for the mid lane. They already destroyed in a very similar fashion with the same strategy the fort at the bottom of the map. So them aiming for structures is clearly working out, and they're consistently stealing camps away from the opponent. They've taken the top left cruiser camp earlier, the Shaman camp. Now they took this. Serdath gets immediately attacked. They're trying to force him to use bunker. But the portal comes out. And there's a lot more that is rotating down to the bottom of the map, as both of them now have level 16 talents. Leyline, APOC, they want Greymane, and they can't get it. The shockwave in the corner, as it finally forces Blaze to use the bunker. So it's a cooldown trade, but they're attacking again in the middle with the rest of the team, and that annihilates the fort in the middle. Leo is at the top, takes the next one, and all of a sudden all of the forts are destroyed. Team Serdath doesn't have a single one standing anymore. I like it. Team Sven has a certain and very unique style to play a lot of these games, and it is very annoying for the opponent. As they are chasing heroes, they are just making big moves on structures. Now eventually you have to also win team fights, but they are doing pretty okay the way that they are running this now. And if you just look at a bit what's happening here, we have, for example, at the bottom of the map, the next shrine up. So Team Serdath is going for the objective again, and it seems like the red team is not really interested in these team fights. They have a very unique team composition, and they're trying to make the best out of it. So they're trying to play around, they're trying to go for structures. The problem is that you can only ignore the objective to an extent. At some point, even with you having a huge push power on Greymane and Rhaegar, you will go up against an opponent that has a very strongly scaled objective in their hands, and is just trying to destroy you. So this doesn't work all that much longer anymore. Chromie goes down, so the team fights are not going too well for them either. As they're going for the attack here. Vala's not even with the team. She's at the bottom of the map and trying to take the objective. Scratch the trying. She actually did. So that one's taken. And this is now slowly gonna result in Team Sven losing more and more ground. They did great on dominating those structures. But now it is time to face the music. The attacks are coming. Banana H with the Self-Ancestral. Pachessa on Whitemane might be in some trouble. Is still totally fine. Masquerade is about to fall though. Or is he? They're trying to keep him alive. There's the Punisher jump again. And oh boy, that's the double kill. Medivh and Whitemane both gone. Rega is dead as well. Masquerade is somehow still alive. Finally dies. Took him long enough. But Uki is also eliminated. And the fort will, of course, fall. Blaze isn't even here right now. More damage done. And it is some wild action that we're getting with that Arcane Punisher doing real work here on that wall, too. But yeah, the structures are slowly falling. And this play was obviously pretty sick. So yeah, getting the kills there against the blue team in particular was worth a lot. So we have level 19 on both sides right now. But it's still that structure advantage that we're getting. So this one is pretty huge. The structure advantage matters quite a bit here. Now, damage output, we have 37,000 from Greymane. He is top damage dealer in the game now. Has actually surpassed Vala, who's currently at 34,000. Chromie, again, not too wild. She has way more siege damage than what we're seeing in hero damage here. Meaning that she's actually in the lead for the red team. Doesn't hold a candle to Blaze, for example, but still, on her own side, she is doing pretty okay. Next objective is going to spawn in the middle of the map, as we have level 20 talents now. For Team Sven. Yeah, they might actually be able to force the fight with it. There's the Entomb. Chromie, she needs the damage there. They're going for Diablo. Couldn't get the rest of the trapped heroes, but they are eliminating Diablo, and this time he's down for the full duration. Lost his soul stacks already earlier. So in this case, we're getting Tooth and Claw for Greymane. We also have, and have seen in action, Buried Alive. Level 20 for Team Serdath, should be there soon. But yeah, they are blowing that wall up. Greymane is doing what Greymane does. Jumps in and just rips them apart. Absolutely rips them apart. And now they want to go for the keep. Level 20 on both sides, but Diablo is still missing. And they're taking the opportunity here. Farflight Quiver is in. Leyline upgraded, but the keep is gone. Team Sven, again, with the big plays here. They're 1 and 2 in series. 1 win, 2 losses, and they want to change things up now. They want to take the second victory. They want to claim this best of 3 and get a little bit closer to them qualifying for the playoffs. Hogger moving around now. Starting to also quickly move towards the middle. They want to take another camp when it spawns. So there's the Bruiser camp now. We got the Shamans in. And for the blue team, it's starting to get a bit awkward. They were looking really nice in team fights earlier, but right now they're struggling on that end too. If they get a good ley line into Apocalypse setup, then they can obviously turn those fights around fairly quickly. But with the Shrine now being activated, they need to really force a bit of a play here. Leo... Is he gonna die? Well, they're probably gonna be able to get him back to safety. Or are they? Actually, I'm not so sure anymore. Jet Propulsion doesn't connect. He gets the swing. But, yeah, he is gonna get eliminated. Trait activated. So, as he activates his trait, the team is pushing at the bottom of the map. But they are diving deep into enemy territory at this point to get those hits in. And it's nice that they take a tower down, but I'm not so sure if they can just escape like this. I actually doubt it. Here comes Medivh again, and he has the ley line. They're turning it on Vala. Want the kill, but can't get it, and the 3 of them are trapped. They're running around the opponent the entire time, but this might actually be the moment where this game starts falling apart for them. Can they really maintain this until the end of the game? Banana H is gone. This, by the way, is calling for Greymane again, and he's gonna get the keep for the team. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. Okay, he's not sticking out for... I actually thought he would sacrifice himself for the keep, and he didn't. So, yeah, keep is still there. But, well, is it? I actually think Diablo can't save this. No, the keep is going to get destroyed. So that's the first keep down. Leo's at the bottom of the map. It's full-on Red Dota style. Hogger is dead. The objective is now being fought for. But they're losing so much ground on structures. It's really up to Team Serdath to take another Punisher and then really break through these structures. This is what they have to do. The red team is just trying to play a very annoying style where they are continuously dancing around the opponent, escorting tools in. They keep destroyed in the middle, they keep destroyed up at the top. Catapults getting stronger and stronger. The core therefore taking damage. Greymane is already moving back. They only have a final structure at the bottom of the map that is also getting pushed by catapults, by camps. But Leo gets attacked again and is already moving out. It's an interesting style to all of this. 11 kills to 5. And yeah, there comes the Punisher. 19 minutes in now. As I said before, these guys are scaling. These guys are starting to do more and more damage. So how are they going to play this now? Fort is destroyed easily. Can they go for a key? Blaze is still missing. Blaze isn't here with them. He's still defending. He had to push this back. And he might even have to stay a bit longer to deal with the top lane. And maybe even the one at the bottom of the map. There's the jump over the wall. Got procced. Greymane is instantly on it. And they should be able to defend their keep. Blaze is not even moving in to help out. So for now, it still works out. Leo could now get that entomb. Well, I'm actually surprised that they didn't. Blaze isn't here. Why did they not jump out there and try and play this out with an entomb? I mean, if you ever get a chance to win a fight, then this is probably going to be it. Leyline wasn't used yet, so I guess that's the main reason. But with them now sieging up, it means that the top lane is pressuring again. So they siege up on this, but the top side... Guys, there's 2 catapults here already, and the third one is coming in. If the blue team really wants to make that move, they need to make it quickly. They need to apply more pressure. They need to send somebody back. Okay, and they are starting to retreat because they really got to. 20 minutes in, catapults will hit hard. So that's 3 on the core already. If they can stop them from retreating, that would be the absolute dream here. And they actually make it so that they have to move all the way. But this means that the core is going to lose some hit points. Probably not a lot, but should lose... Well, actually... No, 100%. But they're getting forced into a fight right now. And the Entomb on Vala. APOC gets used. Connects with 1. Leo's ghosting in again. Will likely fall as a result. But if they can trade him for a different hero... Nope, they can't. The bunker prevents it. And there's a follow-up kill too. Hogger is now getting taken down as well. Yeah, again, this is the big problem. As the game continues, as death timers increase, as you're forced more and more into team fights and you can't just run around your opponent, this playstyle is starting to fall off. They're trying to backdoor now. They're trying to get sneaky. If they can get on the core with these 2, this would mean the end of the blue team. And they know this as well. So, yeah, over here it's the attack for the keep. There's only 1 defender with Chromie, but they are trying to make a play. Serdath survived, by the way. Barely. The keep in the middle didn't. And now they can try and go for the core here. Greymane needs to make that move. Blaze is back and gets some hit points back. As over on the right side, they're trying to go for the core. They're taking Chromie out. That means there's no defender left. Leo respawns, just as I say it. But the core is falling quickly on the blue team side. It's Red Dota Deluxe that we're getting here. And they're winning it. They're taking it. They're dancing around them. They're screw team fights. We need to win the video game. We need to take the core down, and that's all that we do. There it is. GG. Team Sven takes the W. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again, guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before we continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Map number 2, we're going to Cursed Hollow. Alright, so Team Sven with the lead. Very annoying playstyle in game number 1. It's kind of cool that it worked. At the same time, I really think they were on a massive timer there. If the blue team could have delayed this a bit further, as the objectives get stronger, the death timers are rising. Yeah, they would have eventually they would have probably lost the game. But I love the way that they actually played this one out. It was just a bit of a miscalculation also from the blue team. They thought they would be able to either outpace them in the damage on the core, or that they could delay with Blaze alone longer than they were able to at the end of the day. But there's a reason why Greymane is just so insanely strong on structures, and why I always point that out. For that very reason. And you have the Rhaegar support as well for that lightning shield and everything, so you get a lot done with this. And They played the entire game around the opponent, just trying to not engage into fights. It backfired occasionally, and I honestly think they could play this a lot cleaner, but it needs a lot of coordination to play this properly. It's easy to just go into the team fights over and over again, but playing around an opponent the way that they did, that needs a lot of communication throughout the entire team and them playing it as clean as they can. But big shout out to Team Sven, that was well done. They are aiming for a second victory, not only in the best of 3 at hand, but of course also for the round robin, since they're currently on 1 win and 2 losses. And here they have a chance to actually pull it off for the first time. We have Cursed Hollow as our second map. This is match point already for Team Sven. And Team Serdath, they decided after the loss on the first map that they want to have first pick and first bans. That's exactly what they're getting here. Only side laners banned out. You look at the bans currently, and it is the annihilation of everything that is sitting on the side lane. Those are all great picks for Cursed Hollow. So they take Lucio. That gives them definitely a bit of a macro edge. But it's kind of funny how they're just specking into side laner bans the entire time. It's not like we're running out of heroes or anything here, but still. That's a wild one. So Diablo this time taken on the red team side. Team Sven with Brightwing on top of that. It would be kind of funny if they're going for like Sylvanas, Greymane, Lucio, and are trying to do the same thing that Team Sven just did on the last map, just with a slightly different lineup, but with the same thought process in mind. Speeding things up with Lucio as they rotate from lane to lane, and then use Sylvanas and Greymane to just take those structures out. So, I don't think we're getting that. But, well, there is Greymane here, so they have Lucio Greymane now, and they were like, maybe we should go for some extra damage. I wonder if they're considering a Sylvanas ban. Unless, of course, they want to pick her for themselves. Man, and Masquerade and Muradin. Abathar would also work with this quite nicely. I guess I'm not the only one that thought that. So, Abby gets banned. At least we had him once, right? At least we had him in the previous series. It would have been nice, though, to get another Avatar here. When Lucio chases you with a symbiote, it's already a bit of a nightmare. When all of a sudden a double Greymane appears in the middle of the team fight, it's even worse. They are the ones that ban Sylvanas, okay. So she gets banned, just not by the team that I expected to ban her. But, as I said, there's a good chance, or there was a chance, that Team Sven actually picks her for themselves. Talking about Team Sven. What about the Vikings? Come on, Sven. The Vikings aren't banned here. This is your chance. Your moment. Bring it. Give us the Vikings. And we get Sonya. I'll kind of let that slide. Sonya's not played that often, so I'm okay with the Sonya pick. A little bit of spin to win. Get that leap into action. Chromie follows up. Pick the Crater on 20. Turn it into a Death Zone. Combo it with Apocalypse on Diablo, which we're most likely not going to see. It's probably going to be Lightning Breath. But, well, final 2 picks on the left side. Nano, of course, also could go into a Hanzo pick. It does. Okay, there's Hanzo. And we get Leoric. So, Cursed Hollow. Nice lineup for the blue team, for sure. And what brings the draft together now for Team Sven? This is their opportunity to take the 2-0 victory. Azzy, the final one to choose. Comes in with Zeratul. Yes! Nice! Okay! Zeratul gets chosen. I like it. Diablo, Zeratul, Sonya. Technically speaking, you could go into a Void Prison Apocalypse. Highly doubt that's what we're getting. Very likely a Might of the Nerazim build, but I love that Zeratul gets chosen by him again. It's match point, everybody. We're going to Cursed Hollow. It is Team Sven once again up against Team Serdath. The blue team on the left. With Nano on Hanzo, we get Serdath on Leoric, the captain for the team. Rutsu on Greymane, Taichessa on Lucio, and we have Masquerade on Muradin with Dwarf Block as his level 1 talent. Now they need to win 2 in a row now in order to claim this series. As over on the right side, we get Sven on Sonya. Azzy starting things off with Shadowhunter. So very likely we're going to look at Might of the Nerazim here on level 10. There are a couple of wombo combos that he could execute though with a Void Prison, but it's highly unlikely that that's what they're aiming for. Banana Age is playing Brightwing for the team. We got Cesabos on Chromie and then Uki with Diablo. So, good to go. Ooh, that's a trap early on. Ah, well. Apparently it's a pretty bad trap. Nobody's falling for that. Maybe a bit of a skirmish here in the middle. They already sniffed out Zeratul, but yeah. That's not going to be too much action. We have Hanzo at the bottom of the map. Leoric is sitting at the top. And with Ugi now coming in. Going for that team mount there. Hanzo going full Rambo down at the bottom of the map. Also, a nice hit again against Zeratul, casting out the rotation here. So, good for them. Leo, he's going to be locked into that 1v1 against Sven for a long time. And I said there's a couple of wombos available. It's not only that you can go Void Prison into Apocalypse. We could see Void Prison into Leap. That was actually very, very old school Heroes of the Storm. That you would go VP, set this up, and try and hit it on like 3. Come out with a Zeratul from one of those pushes, for example, and just hit the triple. And then we would instead see, or afterwards, see Sonya leap in on the targets and trying to get that stun. Has been a long time since I've seen this. So I do not expect any of these combos to play out here. Zeratul is going to try and make more solo plays towards Lucio, Greymane, and also Hanzo as the game continues. So, Muradin, for example, will have to be a little bit careful on how he reacts to that. Uses those Storm Balls and shuts that down whenever the play is being made. That will at least be one of the ideas. We're now having in the middle of the map a bit of bullying happening. Diablo with the body blocks also on Masquerade as he's still in the tower range and eats those shots. And Chromie is down at the bottom of the map together with Brightwing facing off against Hanzo and trying to get extra damage in here. Nano on one of his top picks though. As level 4 talents kick in, it gives us the paralyzing rage again to get all of those slows together. And Zeratul is already busying himself on camps. I mean, he's not the only one taking camps, of course. All of them have essentially now been claimed. It is the blue team though that is still pressuring through the middle a little bit. Another Storm Bolt on Chromie. Oh! Masquerade! Wrong side of the wall, my friend. But he is able to move out. Gets once again connected from Sonya. That's a little hit, but still. Diablo initially with a good play, but they can't. No, you can't body block him. They would have been able to maybe like block. Yeah, well. After he went up there, he also had his cooldown back up pretty quickly. So now some pretty neat damage against Sven, who easily spins away. But that was a nice trap, because they realized that Sonya would have to move back up towards the top lane and take over for Zeratul. So that's what they were trying to watch out for here. And talking about Zeratul, he's at the top, and they're going for Leo. And that might even be a kill. The drain is preventing it for now, but this battle isn't over. Oh ho ho ho! And it's a 1-for-1 trade. Gotta admit, I did not think that Leo would be able to get the damage out to get that kill. But now they're aiming for Brightwing, and the Fruit Fly is still fine here. Leo back up in a moment, and Brightwing will have to retreat. Yeah, that obviously gets a little bit dangerous in a situation like that. You can't stay there too long. Stormbolt and Swing both miss. I don't want to say they were baited in or anything, but Sonya is now starting to re-engage. Zeratul doesn't have to go for that and is now on the way towards the mid lane, as at the bottom of the map, Greymane is the one that has started to take some towers out and went straight in for those walls. Yeah, that's a very nice back and forth with the skirmishes that we're getting here. Not really any big plays yet to get a massive lead for one of the teams, but they are starting to get some work done here. Zeratul is a bit slowed down on his progress on his level 1 as well. We're already on level 8 and he's sitting at 6 stacks, so didn't really get too many of these. The first tribute was taken by the blue team, and now that we're fighting for the second one, there's of course a chance. Oh, that's a kill. Lucio is gone. Nice. Good move by Team Sven. Would of course be pretty neat if they could do even more than that, but if not already a better position on the tribute beforehand, this at least should give them now full control over that tribute and help them to lock one in for the team. Yeah, good damage from Chromie at the bottom of the map together with Brightwing. As Muradin comes out. They have taken nearly one of the towers out. Spray game on point. I mean, Masquerade, obviously, a veteran when it comes to proper sprays. Yeah, no pleb spray or anything of the sorts. No. He's a man of culture. He knows that before the game you have to properly prep with skins and mounts and everything else. They are already going for the boss here. And Zeratul is at the top doing the same thing. We're going to get the assist. I will get the assist from Sonya in a moment. So each team is now going for their own boss. And level 10 abilities are going to be ready in a few moments as well. Leo is now rotating towards the top side. So he is going to find this out very quickly. I don't think that the blue team can rotate in time, but they have Lucio. I might be wrong there. Serdath, nope. Arrow is already on his way. And hits them hard. That's the entomb. But the boss is there. And I don't think that they really want to fight this. So, yeah. Was a little bit of a funny one, to be honest with you. But they are not able to get there in time. But it was still pretty cool. I mean, here comes the arrow and then bam, they get hit right on the point. Get the boss. But of course, if the red team would have been able to somehow move in quickly enough, then maybe there's a chance for them to make a move. Anyways, we have the next tribute taken. So that's a free one for the blue team. Meaning the next one that they lock in is going to be a curse. Greymane is dead. And that is kill number 3. So, down at the bottom of the map, the fort has fallen. That gives the blue team a lead on at least structures. Top side, Hanzo has defended it. They are still escorting the camp through and are getting damage here. And there's also a big push happening at the bottom of the map. So they will at least take the walls apart. But losing a fort, of course, is worth quite a bit more because you then have catapult pressure on the lane. And that is a completely different story. But they're getting massive amounts of value now down at the bottom of the map, especially from those siege giants. Sonya dies though. Sonya is gone. They're still alive at the bottom of the map, but experience is essentially dead even between the two teams. And this tribute, they need to kind of fight for it, unless they're willing to eat the curse, which I suppose they are not. We have Might of the Nerazim as expected. Apocalypse still from Diablo. Personally, I thought they would go into Lightning Breath, but nope. And, yeah, Channel. Oh, he's gonna get it? Nah, close call. But talking about close calls, Banana Age gets wrecked, gets Hanzo'd. That's the end of Brightwing, and it might be the beginning of a curse. Masquerade at 200 HP, less than 200. Whoa, that kind of sucks for them. If they at least get the Muradin killed, then they can play this one out, but that's a curse. They are just eating that thing. There's no leap either, so they went for Wrath of the Berserker. Leo with more of a drain. And Diablo, looking for a couple of stuns, but gets the Stormbolt to the face. Sonya is defending the bottom of the map. Here in the middle, they're trying to hold on to the fort for as long as possible, but it's going to be tough. And with Muradin now moving towards the top and them going for Zeratul, this is also a problem, and Zeratul dies. Yeah, already had his mobility being used, couldn't react to this. The fort at the top is now also going to get destroyed, and the lead in experience extends. Team Serdath is looking at a nearly 1-level lead. APOC is being used with little success. They are attempting to defend the fort in the middle, but here comes Muradin. Wall stun out, trying to go for Leo. Sven comes in, connects the spear. They're getting good damage there, but Chromie is dead, and Team Serdath is getting some really big momentum here. Huge momentum. All the forts now destroyed. And the opportunity to push it even further than that. The curse is still going strong for another 5 seconds. And you can use every single one of those. So, yep, 5 kills to 3. They're starting to go for the wall and take it out. And even at the bottom of the map, it has taken damage. So, good for the blue team. They are getting closer and closer to establishing an even bigger lead here. And could really push this to game number 3. Right now, they are certainly in the driver's seat. 28,000 damage for Hanzo. Got 17,000 for Chromie. And bosses. 1 minute? Yeah, 1 minute. So boss up in a minute again. And at the top side, we get the same thing. With level 16 also sooner available for Team Serdath. This might actually play a role around the boss. So yeah, this could be a fairly big problem. Depending on how the timing lines up for the blue team. But right now, They are just like waiting at the bottom of the map for the next wave. They escort this one out. A little bit more XP here. Zeratul is trying to, set up a trap together with Sonya, but so far Serdath isn't really falling for it. We have Diablo also sitting between the lanes, but as it stands, they're waiting for 16. They're super passive. They don't want to move out. Serdath misses this one, but he's already retreating. They were hoping for him to make a mistake and get too far out on the lane, and it just doesn't happen. So now level 16 talents are available for them. They could also try and steal some of those camps away, which I think they might just do now. And it's an entire level that Team Sven has to soak. No, certainly not making this easy. Lord of his pack is in. And in the middle, still a little bit more executed here. As once more, Uki gets attacked. After the Entomb drops, Brightwing helps out. But Diablo dies, loses his soul stacks, will be back, but this is obviously a big play for the keep in the middle, and with Greymane in the mix, you can't save that. 16 talents, Greymane. This is totally different from what we've seen on the previous map. I mean, they're dominating this right now. 6 kills to 3. Didn't look really like this in the early game, but ever since then, they have been crushing it here. And now Sven is also getting chased, and he has absolutely no way of escaping. I mean, it's just a matter of when he dies, not if he dies. So Zeratul is giving them a lead on the boss at the top and is starting early. The blue team is obviously going for their own at the bottom of the map. So it's going to be at least a boss for a boss. So when it comes to the trade on these camps, that's something that they can play through with. We got Giant Slammer with 16. Master Warblade is in too. Yeah, Muradin finds Diablo, but they have to retreat here because, again, Sonya is not here. So we got the boss. Nicely done, but that's an arrow on Brightwing and Diablo. And Diablo is gone. Brightwing made it out, but Diablo's gone and he's dead just as Sonya reappears. So definitely not good news, because that's another staggered death here that you just simply cannot afford in a situation like this. The mid keep is already gone. Your bottom keep is now easily going to be opened up by an opponent that uses Greymane, and they should be able to take that second keep out. I mean, it would fascinate me if that wasn't the case. The question is more so, is the core going to survive this? Because that boss is still at, what, 80, 85% HP? So they will take damage at the core. The question is just simply how much. And if Greymane makes it, then whoof, they go for Sven. And, well, as Diablo comes back, Sonya dies. That should be game. Diablo with the Apocalypse. Greymane is still totally fine here. They can easily re-engage on the core. It's already getting clicked and pinged. And this is the tie in the series as we move on to game number 3 of the match. GG. Coming up next, we have the third map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor. Support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. We're going the distance. Game number 3. Team Sven against Team Serdath. And it is the final map of the series, with Towers of Doom being our map. So, this is for all the marbles right now. Let's see who is able to claim victory here and who locks in the W. But very, very curious about how this is going to play out now. Because we've essentially seen two... Well, I mean, now that I think about it, game number 1 was pretty much Team Sven playing around the opponent. Not going for a traditional game in a traditional draft, but really just trying to run circles around them and attacking structures in the core. So we haven't really seen that toe-to-toe battle or head-to-head battle between the two of them outside of game 2, where the blue team was just stronger. So could get interesting now. Because I was about to say that we have seen each team more or less dominate or really running the show on one of the maps. But we had very, very different playstyles. And of course, it is way more typical to have these team fights and have just that more normal playstyle that we experienced in game number 2. So Will be interesting to see how Team Sven is going to play that. I think Vikings are going to get banned right now. If you don't ban the Vikings, Sven is happily going to pick them. Okay, fair enough. No Viking ban. Might not be a first pick, but I would personally be a bit surprised for them to not take the Vikings. So, we'll see. Start things off with Malfurion. The Tracer alarm bells are already ringing. Do we have a Viking player for the blue team? I don't really think so. Nobody on that end is really known for Viking performance. Doesn't mean that they can't play it, but it's not something where I would immediately like, maybe. So, we'll see. Okay, Brightwing and Junkrat. A little bit of mayhem. We're going to get a lot of mayhem from the looks of it. So, what's the side lane? Is Sven going to go for Vikings? Yes or no? If they want to pick them, they probably have to pick him now. And they're likely going to pick their side laner anyways. But, yeah, if you really want to go for it, then this would be probably the moment. Okay, Sylvanas and Muradin. Still not picking a side laner, leaving that open. Could of course also go Samuro again. I mean, we've seen Sven on Towers of Doom not only on Vikings, but also playing a lot of Samuro. And this is really the moment where the blue team has to decide what they want to ban out. It's likely going to be one of the side laners, but what are they most afraid of in this context? What are they trying to get rid of here? Yeah, it's always annoying going up against the red team. They have quite a big pool. They banned Samuro out, okay. So, Samuro is the one that they're getting rid of. Again, understandable. But you are now in that spot where you're like, what are we going to ban against this? But with Sylvanas, you have already the tools for a very strong 4-man. So, you could definitely go for those picks. Take the Vikings in and try and run with Sylvanas some of the structures out while the opponent has to hold 2 lanes against the experience grab that we're going to get from the triplets. Genji also banned. And over for the blue team. After we now have Junkrat and Brightwing. Masquerade could play Stitches. It's actually something that he hasn't played yet. And I'm a bit surprised that that didn't happen. So this could be a game where they bust out Stitches. They could play Brightwing, Emerald Wind. Even if they just go into Blink Heal. Junkrat alone with the traps is already working for them. So, yeah. Stitches. Stitches and Zeratul. There it is. Zeratul would also help them in case that Vikings get picked. So Zeratul would make the Viking performance way more difficult. So already deterring them essentially and telling them like, nah, don't do it. Pick something else. Pick a normal side laner. And then we'll see. Final pick is also going to be interesting for Rutzo. But here comes Illidan. Oh, and Medivh. Okay. Illidan Medivh. Did not see the Illidan pick coming, but whew, I definitely am a fan here. And then over on the left side. Yeah, the final choice here. There's not really a lot of... well, Brightwing against Illidan is nice. Outside of that, they don't have a lot. There's no hard stuns here. They're likely going to pick one now. They need something against Illidan. And they go for Falstad. No, they want the isolation. They want to have isolation plays with the Gust after Stitch's Gorge. Alright, can they control Illidan? Yes, no, I guess we'll find out now. Towers of Doom is the final map in the best of 3 series. As we got Team Serdath against Team Sven. Game number 3. It is on the left side. Serdath on Zeratul. We got Stitches played by Masquerade as so often on Towers of Doom. Maybe a bit of a surprise even that it didn't get banned out considering how Masquerade essentially picks Stitches every single time that he plays here as long as it's allowed. We got Nano on Junkrat, Taichessa on Brightwing, and Rutsu with Falstad. As over on the right side, this is where things are getting spicy. We got Team Sven with Banana H and Malfurion. Uki is playing Muradin, and then Sven on Illidan. Not a lot of hard stuns on the side of the blue team. They have a couple of CC tools they can use against him. As we get Unending Hatred on level 1. Azzy on Sylvanas, and then Cesarbos on Medivh. So they also have Medivh as an added tool to keep everybody alive and also to deal with, of course, Stitches whenever he gets a Gorge or a good hook against someone. You can throw that shield out, you can go and cast that portal, and that should really, really help you. Now, we got on level 1 Hungry for More for Stitches, and already they're making some moves here as they're trying to put pressure onto Masquerade with the portals, as he ends up in tower range and starts to attack this real quickly. And Illidan, talking about putting people under pressure, is up at the top instantly. He gets away. Yeah, that one was a bit too close for comfort, but as long as Illidan survives here, I think they're going to be fine. Medivh is helping him now out too. Illidan, of course, going to try and stack the unending hatred over here. And in the late game, this can do damage. He's going to try and go for structures for a long time now too, and try and take these out, but Illidan can be pretty big here. So you have a lot of pressure with Sylvanas on one side of the map, with Illidan on the other. And yeah, very likely it's going to be Hunters, a bit of a pseudo-global, so it's going to give them a nice position there as well. Seems like right now they are willing to invade that camp. Muradin is coming in, Medivh is on the move too, but the pumpkins are about to be taken by Stitches. He wants them, he gets them. And they are coming in with a hook on Malfurion. And it's Sylvanas that dies first, and then Malfurion is dead as well. Easy peasy double kill from Team Serdath as they take 2 of the heroes out. The pumpkins are making it over now too. So not only do they steal the camp away, they also got their own. And they were able to pick up 2 kills, which leads to a lead in experience and also talents, at least for now. Illidan at the top is running into the same problem. He's getting very quickly attacked here, but since it's a 2 versus 2, it seems that this is a little bit more manageable for the blue team. Brightwing comes in to help out, but it's a bit too late. The pumpkins this time have already been claimed. A couple of stacks together also for Illidan right now, as he goes into the Hunter's Onslaught as his level 4 ability. But it is a game. We got a game on our hands, for sure. So Nano, Masquerade, they're all still moving around here from lane to lane as they're hoping to, for example, catch Sylvanas when she starts to make these pressure plays that we're seeing at the bottom of the map. So that's the next one. And we have Illidan jumping in at the top, going from one move to the next, with Azzy now getting directly targeted. And it could be the end of Sylvanas again, and indeed she falls. Sylvanas gone. Her eliminated. 3 kills to 0 now. Off to a great start. Another hook, and it is Medivh that has to tap out with 23 stacks and the portal. Malfurion gets poorly. There's no portal available anymore. Muradin, they're attacking him, but he still has at least the jump available. Not quite sure if he's going to escape though, because they're pooping him back out. They have a couple of body blocks in, and here comes the hook and the shield, and he's still in trouble and is able to get away. I gotta say, they're really struggling against this. 2 altars have been taken by the blue team, only 1 by their opponents. And with 11 stacks for Stitches on his level 1, he's also made sure that he gets a solid amount of globes. But yeah, there's another hook. And they want that kill, and they might just be able to get it. Sven is low, gets another portal. They're trying to come in for Taichessa, and it's a kill on Brightwing. It's a wild early game. I mean, seriously, they're all over the place now. Sylvanas is dead again, so it's just kill after kill after kill. To be fair, Brightwing was the first one to fall on the side of the blue team, but we had a lot of pressure against Falstad and other heroes before that. 4 kills to 1 in general, half a level lead. Stitches alone at the bot lane, snacking himself a few more of the globes, and gets another one here too, so yeah, great for him. Masquerade picks those up and is accelerating this very nicely. Sitting at 15 already, 4.5 minutes in, it's not bad. Not only does it give him a decent amount of HP, but he also closes in on the extra movement speed. Muradin is not going to get anything here, except for a lot of hurt and pain. But it's Medivh that saves the day once more. That is the MO though. Medivh has to save them a lot. Now there are a few tools that help the red team to scale into the late game, of course. Medivh wants to complete his quest first. That will allow him to get a lot more damage in as this continues, as long as they keep him alive. And then on top of that you have, of course, Illidan, who's working on his level 1 damage. Another quick save here. Cooldown reduction, once that we're getting it, is going to be pretty massive. But there is still that half-level lead for Team Serdath. And with the Altar now down at the bottom of the map, if they can just buy a bit of time, they would already go to level 10 and then have a chance here. But it seems like Banana Age is actually going to complete that channel. Masquerade, are they going to get killed too? The shots are fired and Stitches survives. Stitches makes it. Illidan was there, so it was a 5 versus 4, which was one of the problems. Zeratul has rotated between the lane and allowed the team now to go for the early level 10, which means that they could be able to invade this. Are they there in time? And the answer is no. They were trying to gust it out, but couldn't. Yeah. We're close, though. They want that Gorge into Gust if they can get it. In this case, they were just more interested of going for the camp itself. But as is, 16 stacks for Illidan. It's, by the way, not the only thing. He currently also has 5 for Unbound, so he's 1/3 done with the quest. And once that Illidan gets the added damage here, he's going to stack this, of course, further. But that's already him being off to a fairly decent start. And he should be able to also apply pressure to structures as he gets all of that done. Stitches is now 1 globe stack away from picking up another 5% movement speed. Yeah, and it's going to get it here, 100%. So, movement speed is in. That's 21 actually, as is. And nice! The perfect timing from Brightwing and the Poly as they go for the Illidan kill. Who, by the way, has not gone for Hunt, Metamorphosis. So it's not really interested in just having more control of the map itself. But with Metamorphosis, obviously, a lot more survivability, can dodge out on some abilities on the other side and really bring the team fight to the blue team. Or at least that's the theory behind it. We have the two teams on even points on the core right now, but generally speaking, blue team now a level ahead and just on the kills alone looking way better. Now if Illidan can scale, then this could very well start to escalate at some point. But he doesn't have the quest completed. I was actually expecting him to stick it out in the mid lane a bit longer and get another minion wave. Decided to not do that. We're all fighting tooth and nail for this one. And keep those hooks in mind. Stitches is half a level away from getting the hook extension. Half a level, that's all that he still needs. Rutzo with the Gust, not making any risky moves here. Still playing this out at the bottom of the map. And Illidan is still not waiting for his quest reward. They want to get the channel. But there's already the interrupt. Malfurion is the one that's starting to drop a little bit low here. Haymaker for Muradin. Oh my god. Haymaker for Muradin. And he comes in. Haymaker Zeratul out. Nearly dies, but makes it out. Illidan completes his quest and has now way more of a hit in. So, yep. Cesarbos is jumping back out. And by now, they're all fighting just as hard as they can for this particular altar. As the hook range comes in, level 13 makes it possible. Illidan is chasing hard. They're going for Stitches. Masquerade with a hook. And somehow he still survives. But Sylvanas and Falset have both been dropped. So that's 2 kills. Zeratul super low. Brightwing to the rescue, saving the day, but gets immediately attacked as Illidan comes in. They're gobbling up Malfurion and might be able to get a kill on him. Yeah, especially with Zeratul now targeting also Medivh. He wants that kill. Cesarbos is so low, but Serdath is in the same situation and Medivh dies. Insane. What a monster. All over the place with that kill. Takes Medivh out. Somehow survives. And the altar is still up. Falset flies in. The grenade to the face for Malfurion. And now he gets eliminated by Rutsu. They come in, Illidan, he wanted to jump out with the Metamorphosis and gets now killed as well. No way that he escapes this one. That is 9 kills to 2 and they're gonna grab that altar. What a fight. And Zeratul with a big play. I mean, he's all over the place there. Look how low he drops on this one. Jumps out, goes back in, gets the quick kill against Medivh. Now they got the 4 shots fired. They steal the camp away. Pressure at the bottom of the map. More than a 1.5 level lead right now, and it is wild. A wild game between the two teams here. Control of the bell tower, they might be able to grab it here, but the ley line gets used against Stitches as they're trying to get close enough. Masquerade gets haymakered. And I suppose he's just going to try and take as much as he can here. He's going to waste a little bit of their time. It's another hook out, but he is going to fall eventually here. So Stitches is gone. The bell tower still being held by them. Now they're trying to go for Nano. He eats the Storm Bolt and gets destroyed. Yeah, as many good plays as the blue team has made, as far ahead as they are, they have not won this game yet. This is Towers of Doom. Comebacks here are extremely common. They are happening all the time. And Illidan is a huge X factor. He's done with his level 7 quest. He's getting more and more damage on his level 1. And he can start to become a real menace as the game continues. But the red team has now also started to take out structures at the bottom of the map. They get the bell tower control here. Up at the top, defense was not strong enough to hold this one. There's of course also the talent advantage that we currently have for Team Serdath. So that's another factor to be considered. And it gives, for example, Stitches Pulverize, which is a really nice tool also against Illidan. Even if it's just a mini stun that he play around with, it certainly helps. Talking about Serdath, he gets caught and he's not going to make it. He shouldn't be able to make it. Brightwing, though, wants to help out. Okay, can they get more kills here? Stormbolt misses. Zeratul is gone. And Brightwing is still on the run. They are trying to get some of the channels here, but the ley line was YOLO'd out just to make sure that they won't be able to claim this one. 32 against 28 points on the core. And yeah, they are making their moves now. First 4 shots are fired, and it seems like the red team has actually an opportunity to take both of them. As Sylvanas retakes the bell tower at the top left, top right, bottom left. We have Rutsu doing the same thing, and the altar battle is still ongoing. And I suppose eventually the red team will have to fall back here. I don't think they're gonna really, sort this out. Curious if Rutsu is considering taking Epic Mount here. We'll see later, but yeah. Shots fired. 28 to 24. This is the final map. This is what it comes down to. 27,000 damage for Sylvanas, 26,000 for Illidan. 36k is what we're seeing for Junkrat. Jumping back down to the bottom of the map, we still have the double global up at the top doing some work here as they're pushing Illidan slowly back. And Sven is playing this all a bit safer than previously. More camps on the map, more about to be taken. Yeah, Medivh sniffs it out, so they could try and engage here if they really wanted to. Sesabos jumps in, they indeed want to, they want that camp. But they're not going to be able to grab it. Nice hook against Malfurion, though. It looked a little bit wonky, to be honest with you. Not able to get that Gorge follow-up, in case he was actually aiming for it. And as Falstad attacks the top and drops that bell tower already significantly low, the rest of the team is still fighting out at the bottom of the map. And as a 5-man, they want to have a kill now. They want to have a kill before the next objective gets spawned, and they go for Masquerade. Leyline gets thrown out and dodged. Riptire is helping quite a bit. Masquerade gobbles up Illidan. Sylvanas might be in trouble, but they get the kill on Junkrat. He's the first one to fall. Now they're focusing on Sylvanas herself. She escapes, but it's just a bloodbath. Fallside at the top is about to get the bell tower for the team, so they are able to get at least on structures and maintain that lead. And since the blue team has been able to defend the one at the bottom of the map, they're not looking too bad here. It's a triple altar phase that we have. Next, a 5 versus 3 bell tower situation, but Stitches gets hit, rooted, and this is likely going to be the end of Masquerade for now. Masquerade is gone. That also eliminates the bell tower. Falstad is channeling at the top right and will be able to get it. Zeratul slows them down. Not that he needs to necessarily. Falstad can still fall back. It's 4 shots fired, 20 against 28 points. Muradin has channeled the one at the bottom of the map. And now it's only an alt at the top left that is remaining, and everybody is going to try and go for it. But the interrupts, they will be coming. They're going to wait for Stitches. They're going to try and buy enough time. But there's the portal engage once again, and that is just a big, big risk factor here. So they let it go. The altar is taken, and now even the boss is about to be grabbed. The blue team is still ahead in experience. Still a bit ahead in experience, but now we're going to see the red team take the lead on core points. And everybody is already attempting to retake their own bell towers again. It's that consistent change that we have between the two. Level 20 for Team Serdath will hit a little bit sooner. 37,000 damage for Sylvanas. And yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. Also, by the way, Muradin with Haymaker, not with Avatar, is the only one that hasn't died yet. 20 is in. 56 stacks on level 1 for Illidan. So yeah, he gets that auto attack damage. We have him now with Bolt of the Storm. Same for Sylvanas. Shadow Stride for... And it's Epic Mount. I called it earlier already. He actually went Epic Mount. Epic Mount for Falstad. I've been talking about it previously. And he went for it. So way more map control and mobility now for Rutsu, as he can try to play around the opponent a little bit. Is also going to be able to save himself depending on the situation when he gets chased too hard. We have Muradin with Rewind. So he went in on that. Falstad flying down, goes for the gas. They want the kill, but the Playmaker gets used right away as the portals are again bringing them a little bit of safety. Stitches went for Master Hooker on 20, and not hungry Stitches. He gets one Gorge, but they get the kill against Malfurion anyways. Falstad is the one that just burns him down. Nicely done. The boomerang hit right there. Now the double altar is coming up, and the red team doesn't have a healer any longer. Falstad dodges the Stormbolt. Illidan is on it. Illidan, it's booped around a bit and has to jump out of the Metamorphosis. The first altar at the bottom of the map has already been channeled. Now both of the teams on level 16, on 16 points, 16 core hit points again. But it's another channel for Team Serdath, as they are dropping the opponent's core down to 12 points. And they will take Bell Tower control at the bottom of the map. It's a wild series. The series in this tournament are absolutely insane. And this one has been crazy from start to finish. The first game that just... That push style on the side lanes working so exceptionally well for the red team and actually leading to a victory. Then the dominance of Team Serdath in game number 2 when it came to team fighting. And now on the third map, it's just an endless back and forth. Every time when you think a team has a lead, the opponent brings it back and turns it around again. 41 stacks for Stitches right now. That means 15% additional movement speed on his side and 1,000 extra hit points. We have 6 bell towers to 2. They nearly start the entire barrage here. They are massively ahead on that. Can they maintain it though? That's the big question. Portals are coming again. Junkrat, he's dead. Oh, well, is he? Brightwing? No. Yeah, he's gone anyways. Nearly a save. Falstad is now coming in. Tries to help the team to disengage as Zeratul jumped in, back out. They want to go for Illidan. Where's that Poly when you need it? Not there. On cooldown apparently, and Illidan is therefore able to escape. That hook was close though. That hook was really close. Oh my god. 44,000 damage for Sylvanas, 39,000 for Illidan. 62 stacks for Illidan on level 1. Really nice auto attack damage now. And Falstad with Epic Mount, he's taking full advantage of it. Top, left, bottom, right, wherever. I mean, he's all over the map. Trying to take bell towers, trying to defend, trying to punish the opponent. 3 shots fired, 13 points, 210. And Sylvanas now making the pressure play at the bottom of the map. They're going to exchange bell towers again. Blue team is faster. They're dropping this easily. Boss, 52 seconds. 52 seconds for the boss to come back. Bottom of the map, they're taking, or they're trying to take the next camp. They already took 1. And now we have the bell tower also reconverted there. 5 versus 3 bell tower. Still the situation. Team Serdath, still a little bit ahead. Is it going to be enough though? 20 minutes into the game. Pumpkins roaming through the bot lane. Stacks coming together everywhere. They're trying to stop this now. And here comes the push. They want to escort some of the pumpkins in, and they also want to maintain the bot lane control. There's a double altar spawning at the bottom of the map. Oh, the hook! The Stormbolt though. They're gusting, and Illidan jumps out instantly. Instantly. If they had him in a death zone with a poly, that would have been the play. Oh, beautiful shot there. I think that was actually Junkrat. Junkrat kind of hurt his own team. I think that's 4 shots where Nano misplaced the mine a little bit or missed the timing. And all of a sudden, all of those pumpkins get pushed into the death zone and transferred into shots. And now they're down to single digits, 9 points to 10. That hurt. And there's a boss up. Illidan is right on it. They need to take the bell tower back, which they will be able to do, but it's going to be 5 points on the core. Ah, they're actually moving back down. They're realizing they don't have the time. So, yep, this is the camp claimed. Down at the bottom of the map, the ley line. They go for Junkrat. Falstad could be... Yeah, okay, Junkrat is still fine. He was already mid-air, but Zeratul is gone. The timing couldn't be worse. The timing could not be worse. Pumpkins at the top. That shot's fired against the red team. But they're getting the... Oh, they're getting both of the altars. Oh my god. They're going to be down to a single point on the core. 1 point on the core against 7. And the boss is up. And part of this is because Junkrat pushed those pumpkins into the range of the core. Zeratul is missing. They're forced into the fight. Riptire is here. Big damage. But who takes it? It is the red team. The gust is too late. The shots are fired. And it's a W for Team Sven. Team Serdath 0-2 in the round robin now. GG. Well played.